How y'all doing? I'm the Watchman, and this video right here is about a person, woman, whom the Illuminati, secret society, all these secret societies, all of them come from the same place, same group of people, and this is about who they fear, who they hate and despise, and of course it's Ellen G. White. Now, I was sitting there, and I'm in the middle of a series right now, and I just got married the other day, so that's why for the break, the long break. But anyway, I'm I'm sitting here, and God showed me that it's something I've known. A lot of people uh, have a misconception of Ellen White, and this is what they want. And honestly, it's all because a lot of people don't take the time to read her for themselves. A lot of us are up on conspiracy theories, and we see the plan that they're plotting. We see the Satanism in music, in movies, in TV. We see the Illuminati at work in every angle with genetically modified foods, things of that nature. But where this light is coming from, that's uncovering Illuminati, one of the first person to really break it down and warn us was Ellen White. And it saddens me because a lot of Ellen White readers uh, who read Ellen White, it's not just at Venice, aren't, what should I say, justifying her or opening up the beauty of her writings to the people. And it hit me, the first place I ever heard of a Jesuit was from Ellen White. You might say a lot of people might not even know what Jesuits are, because now we have a Jesuit Pope, and it's like, okay, and it's like, what? Jesuits were created by Ignatius Loyola, who they were like pit bulls for the Catholic Church to stamp out Protestantism. Now, Protestantism, the word Protestantism means to protest Rome. A lot of people forget that. They just think it means Protestantism, but it means to protest Rome. And so this was a group of people. The Jesuits was a group of people who, by any means necessary, their motto was the end justifies the means, meaning they'll do whatever they have to do to get to whatever point or aim they're aiming at. They'll do whatever they have to do. I like the way one man put it. He said, there has not been a war that a Jesuit hasn't started. They will infiltrate any and every religion. Well, they have infiltrated any and every religion. They've come up through the ranks. They get in high up positions so they can then turn the religion back to Rome. When you had the Lutherans, Martin Luther, you read his writings, even watch the movie. The movie's a good movie. You rarely get that with anything, because they'll give you 80% truth to throw in the 20% lie. But Martin Luther and all the reformers, not many, but all of them, recognized Rome as the Antichrist system and the Pope as the Antichrist. But the Lutheran Church today has apologized to Rome and apologized for Luther. Luther would roll over in his grave with a backflip and burn himself if he known that the church that he started apologized to Rome. Apologized to Rome. Why? Because Jesuits got high up in the rankings and became Lutherans. They are camouflaged. They were outlawed. Jesuits, this is how the knowledge of even Jesuits has been so much erased from our minds that we've been, it's okay to have a Jesuit Pope. Jesuits were outlawed throughout all of Europe because of their sinister, evil, wicked agenda and path. Adam Weishaupt, Google everything I'm telling you. Adam Weishaupt in the around 1776 was in charge of the Bavarian Lodge, the last lodge that they had over in Europe. But Bavaria, when they found out, they ran all of them out of there, and all of them came to America. And what Adam Weishaupt did, under instruction of the devil, of course, because the name Jesuit was so sinister and already had this outlawed reputation, they were not welcome men because of their agenda and who they were and what they did. He came up with another name. He said, well, let's put the name Jesuit to the side for a minute, and how about we use the name Freemason? Now, this is Adam Weishaupt, who started Freemasonry. Yes, he was a Jesuit. Freemasonry was started by the Jesuits. But anyway, so it's the body is Jesuit. So what they learned was we can have different body parts. We will have Freemasonry, skull and bones. They started making other factions, which is still them, so they could achieve different things. And they knew that people would start to think that they were separate when really they're part of the same body. They're here to stamp out Protestantism and bring all praise back to Rome. But who warned us of this in the first place? Ellen G. White. In her book, The Great Controversy, I had never heard of a Jesuit or ever known what one was until I read about Ellen G. White. In her book that she wrote, Great Controversy, she tells the history of the Jesuits. And I'm telling you, beloved, this is why you have this, Ellen White isn't a cult or a devil worshiper and a false prophet. Beloved, when did we start? If you are up on conspiracy theories and Illuminati and secret societies, when do you start believing everything that's thrown at you? Let's use our mind here. I live in Clarksville, Tennessee. You cannot buy one Ellen G. White book in Clarksville. I went to Books A Million one time and Barnes and Noble, and I asked them out. They have I actually have a video where I took my camera in a bookstore. They have a whole section on the cult, demons' names, the necromancy, Book of the Dead, all this stuff. They have a whole section about it. But if Ellen White was the occult, why not even one of her books in there? Why not a paragraph, an inch? Why not even a mention? You would sell all these books, have a occult section, new age sections with nothing but occult, demon worship, prayers to demons. Watch the video. I actually got the books and stuff on film. But the dude told me we are not allowed to sell one Ellen White book. They hate her because she educates on them. But I'm going to read some of the stuff she wrote back in the 1800s. And she said this stuff like me and a lot of others, my brother Chris Hutz in the 400, we got up on Illuminati, secret society, Satanism, how they worship Baphomet, all of this. We got up all of this because of the beauty of the internet when it's used the right way, spreading information, all that. She wrote this in the 1800s, y'all. In the 1800s, she told the history of the secret societies through Jesuitism in Rome in the 1800s, before all of this stuff. You know, before all of this stuff. I heard David Gates, who's a minister, he told a story one time that how there was a Jesuit priest, and he was sick and he was dying. And he knew that Adventists, because of Ellen White, because of the light she received on diet, which all the hospitals in America are now adapting. Did you know big open air windows and letting fresh air come? That's all Ellen White. And all hospitals are adapting it now. National Geographic did a study on it because people who follow her diet plan live 12 years longer than any other culture on earth. But anyway, not to get off point. But anyway, so this Jesuit priest who he comes to this doctor, this Adventist doctor, and he says, "Can you heal me?" And the doctor says, "I will heal you We use what I'm taught to heal you, dealing with cancer, which Ellen White has books upon it. Dealing with cancer, if you allow me to give you a Bible study at the end. Jesuit priest agreed. He agreed. He heals the man of his cancer, which I know which was God. He comes to the doctor's house after he's fully healed. They've gone through treatment together. He changed his diet, the whole nine. He's healed. He comes to the doctor's house to keep his side of the bargain. The doctor takes him into his library. Right when the doctor starts to reach for a book by Ellen White and starts to the Jesuit priest stops him and says, "Brother, I've read every single one of her books." The doctor looks at him puzzled. He said, the Jesuit priest says, "We are commissioned and commanded to study all of her writings because she is the only writer who foretold everything that we were about to do, who told our history and everything that we were up to. She's the only writer in history to do this." Again, he said she's the only writer to tell our history, how we started, where we came from, and what we were up to, what we were going to be up to. Beloved, I'm here to tell you. I was reminded of this because I know when I get Jesuits commenting on my page at times, and I just did a video on how she had a vision about 911, and you could find it in the book Testimonies to the Church, Volume 9, page 11, 911. And that's where the page that she had the vision on. But anyway, this one guy, you can go check the profile, go look at the video where I say Ellen White predicted 911. And he was commenting, his name was Han Solo. And after a second, I'm reading the comments, the little voice said, "Oh, Josh, you know he's a Jesuit." Because something hit me. When someone can pinpoint and they start bringing up so many examples, I can always tell it's Jesuit because I can tell when they've studied Ellen, when they know just about as much or even more than I do. And I noticed this guy knew more Ellen than I did, but he steady bad-mouthing Adventists and Ellen. Little voice, "Josh, he's a Jesuit." Go check his channel. What they do, y'all, and this is critical now, what they do is they will go to all Adventists who are teaching truth, because you have a lot of Adventists who aren't teaching truth, just like any denomination, any church, They go to all Adventists who are teaching truth and who are mainly teaching Ellen, because there are a lot of Adventists who don't teach Ellen. Like I said, the Jesuits, they infiltrate. But anyway, you have a lot of Adventists who don't teach Ellen. But anyway, they'll go to all of their pages or their videos and they will comment to cause doubt. And whatever that person's talking about Ellen, they'll comment to cause doubt. And so other people who are reading the comments will be like, "Oh, wow, I didn't know that point." And, they'll just talk junk about Ellen. They'll try to break stuff down to get other people they'll try to discredit the person who's doing the video or the lecture. And they know so much about Ellen that they'll try to break stuff down, take stuff out of context, cause confusion. And I knew it hit me. Boom. I said, I bet you Han Solo is one of them. So I go to his page. Boom, 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 boom. First, I even typed, because the voice was so clear, and I know when it's our father talking, I said, I typed to him, "I smell a Jesuit." And so I go to his page, and I look, sure indeed. You know how on the page where it shows when you comment on stuff, it shows your recent activity. Nothing but Adventists. I kid you not. You look all throughout his recent history, nothing but Adventists. All he was going. He might have changed that since I called him out on it in the past week or two. I think the past 2 weeks he might have changed it, started trying to comment on other stuff. Because like, "Oh no, people gonna check my payment. I'm fine." So I'm talking about nothing but Adventists. Just page after page of where he's just commenting on Adventist videos. And I said, I knew you were a Jesuit. If Adventists are so wicked, wrong, Ellen White is so much a false prophet and cult, why is that the only thing you're watching and commenting on and attacking? Benny Hinn, got caught doing heroin, and his best friend died the same night. He got caught on film handing him a crack pipe, a heroin pipe, or whatever. and his friend died that night. I mean, you got so many of these televangelists who are false, fake, and phony. But I'm like, but you're only focusing on Ellen White and the Bennetts. And I'm telling you, y'all, what's sad is so many people are just Google because there's so many hate Ellen websites. Something I think about it. If she was really a cult, why isn't she sold at any occult or New Age sections in stores? Why is her books kept from the public on high level? They try to keep it from the public on high levels. Like I said, you can't buy one in Clarksville. Clarksville lives in no small town. This has Fort Campbell, the biggest army base, one of the biggest army bases in America. But anyway, you can't buy not one of her books here. Not one. I have to go to Nashville. I have to go to Nashville. Beloved, there's a reason why. If you honestly see, pull back the veil and let's look at reality for what it really is. If you honestly know that there are people and places and powers to keep you blind, then you can't believe just because they say, oh, she's a witch, she's an occult, and you, yep, I knew it, without seeing for yourself. They said the same thing about Christ. And look how many people, yep, I knew it. Crucify him. And they end up killing the Son of God. Beloved, that tactic has not stopped working. It still works. Beloved, study for yourself. There is a reason why there's so many hate Ellen White websites. And this woman, when you start to read what she wrote, it's like a cult. She talks about health. She talked about GMOs, them genetically modifying foods and things before in the 1800s, y'all. She has been warned. That's how this is like from above. The things that she says eat, the way she says set up hospitals and to heal people dealing with cancer. She said the doctors would say masturbation is okay, but it would be the leading cause of cancer in the last days. Yes, she said it. Everything that she says, and it's like, what? If she's on the devil's side, she's doing a horrible job because she's pointing straight to Christ. Like she said herself, if my writings differ from that of the Bible, cast my writings aside and stay with the Bible. I didn't read the Ellen White book. I was born an Adventist, but I studied every religion for myself until I was 12 years old because I saw a demon out of eye and I wanted to know what was after me. And like so many other people, I saw wickedness through some of the adults in my church. So I told my mom, I'm going to study every religion. And I kid you not, I said I'm going to study every religion and I'm going to base it on the Bible. And whatever one I feel is truth, that's the one I'm going to follow. She said, okay. Really, she knew it was no choice. Josh is hard-headed like that. I've always been. But anyway, she said, okay, I studied every religion, compared it to the Bible, and I saw that Adventism was the only one that kept the 10 Commandments. Something so simple, the 10 Commandments. So I went back to Adventism. I kid you not. And I did not read my first Ellen White book till I was 29 years old. Because I was like, I'm just in the Bible. And I got mad the first time I cracked open the Great Controversy. And I read about the Reformation and the 200 million Christians that were killed by the Catholic Church just for having a Bible. And everything, how they used to hide in catacombs. They used to dig these tunnels up under Rome and back in just to hide and do service there. How the Waldenses used to live in caves right upside and outside of the Alps so they could preserve the Bible, how the Bible was preserved. Ellen White was the only one writing all of this. And I loved history in school. You know, if I didn't drop out, I would have graduated with honors. But I didn't care about teachers and establishments and things of that nature. And I love history. And never once was I ever told any of this, and I would have never known it if I didn't read The Great Controversy. I kid you not. I was the first place I ever read where she talked about little girls and women who just for having a Bible were being buried alive. They're singing hymns while they're being. That thought has never left my mind because that's such an inspiration to me. How can I go to heaven and stand next to these people and the sacrifices they made for the kingdom of God? And here I am. I'm like, well, what, you know, I'm like, and in my heart, I'm like, well, what did you do, Josh? Well, I I read a couple scriptures every day, and I went to church. I'm like, there were children in I believe it's, even if I'm wrong, go look it up. What is it called? It's on the tip of not Slovenia. I want to say Yugoslavia, or it might be Austria, where the adults got so scared of Rome, they stopped preaching, and the children started preaching. I kid you not. This is in the Great Controversy. You know how much inspiration? Where the children started preaching, the Holy Spirit came upon the children, and they picked up where the adults left off. Yes, that's devil worship. That's really pushing the kingdom of Satan. Knowing that when the adults got scared, that the children started preaching. First place I ever read about John Huss, Wycliffe, Martin Luther, everything they tried to keep out of history, you can find in the Great Controversy. If you love the Bible and the Word, I kid you not, pick up the Great Controversy. She tells about the history of the Jesuits and how they got started, and how and how they were instructed. This group is fiendish. There is no limits to what they'll do. Like I said, they will go into they will start a war. One of their mottos is order out of chaos. They will get in the high-ranking levels in a country, cause chaos, or like we're doing, they will fund a rebel, or they will fund a rebellion, cause a whole bunch of chaos. Then they will also, another faction of them will come in as the heroes, bring order, and stamp their flag and claim it after they cause the chaos and the destruction in this country. Like, is that not what we've been seeing? They're getting away with this because the devil has cleverly kept history from us who need to read it. And he's done that by painting an ill picture on Ellen G. White. So I said in my head, I told Father, to any of y'all who might listen to me and like what you hear, I'm here to tell you, read Ellen for yourself. Read Ellen for yourself with an honest eye. We read so many other books about people out here, all these just whoever, all these little Christians who write books. We read all these other books, but this one lady who had a 3rd grade education, the most translated books in history. For those who don't know what translated mean, that means her books have been translated in different languages. The most translated author in history, has written the most books than any other author in history. Beloved, this girl with a 3rd grade education, who they try to keep from you. And I don't know if she's written the most books in history. I believe she's like, it's her and somebody else. If she's not the first, she's the second. But beloved, no, I wouldn't say books, but as far as word per word, it's written the most words in history. It's her and somebody else. But anyway, I could be right or wrong on that fact. But anyway, beloved, in the 1800s, she was talking about warning us against the secret societies. And I'm going to read the last quote, a quote that's just mind-blowing on what she said about secret societies. And she said this in the 1800s, y'all. 1800s. She's so much a devil worshiper in the cult, but she was in the 1800s warning us in these last days about the Illuminati, Freemasons, and the secret societies. But she's so much a devil. Wow. Like Jesus said, they accused Jesus of the same thing. And he said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Cannot stand. It is destined to fall. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Because I'm here to tell you, there is a reason why they call her a devil worshiper. With really no proof. Trust me, if they had proof, we would see it. We'll see a million YouTube videos where people are reading her books. She says, put the rabbit's foot in the blood and drink it at midnight when you sip, and you pray to the good, like you got Wiccans, you got all this stuff, but all she talks about is the Bible, Christ, and God and the Holy Spirit. You know, she talked about when doctors said it was healthy to smoke cigarettes to help your lungs. She was the one that said no, don't do it. Guess who? Guess who was the one who sent Kellogg, who was hailed as one of the greatest doctors ever. Guess who sent him to school? Her and her husband. Guess who warned them about going on the pantheism, on the deep path? She also told him to stop. Guess who, before he went on the deep path, he started hanging around with Freemasons. And she warned him. She says, you need to break away from these men. But beloved, like I said, in a day and time when nobody was talking about Illuminati, secret societies, this little old lady was. This little old lady in the book Great Controversy told you about the Jesuits, where they started, what they're about, and what they would do when nobody else is. There's Jesuit universities here now. Loyola Mount, I think that's whatever it's called, Loyola and Georgetown. Why? Because they've cleverly hid who they are from us, these generations, because we're too entertained. But let's read some stuff. I'm going to read these 3 things and what she said about secret societies over 100 years ago. She says in one quote, and this is Testimonies of the Church, Volume 9. She wrote this in 1902. I mean, not Volume 9, but Testimonies for the Church, Volume 7. She says, we are now to use all our entrusted capabilities in giving the last warning message to the world. In this work, we are to preserve our individuality. We are not to unite with secret societies or with trade unions. We are to stand free in God, looking constantly to Christ for instruction. All our movements are to be made with a realization of the importance of the work to be accomplished for God. As the chosen people of God, we cannot copy the habits, aims, practices, or fashions of the world. We are not left in darkness to pattern after worldly models and to depend on outward appearance for success. The Lord has told us whence comes our strength. I'm going to stop right there. Let's go to another one. And she has like over 60 different times she mentions secret societies. And even over 100 sometimes she mentions Freemasons. But I'm just going to read 3 where she talks about secret societies. Okay, I read that one. Okay, in this book, in her book that she wrote, Evangelism, section 18, she puts dealing with false, look, 1800s now, dealing with false science, cult, isms, and secret societies. Satan gains foothold through false doctrines. Error draws its life from truth. Ooh, now that's powerful. That's powerful. Listen to what she says. I'm going to start off. She says, error draws its life from truth. Satan has wrought with deceiving power, bringing in a multiplicity of errors that obscure the truth. Error cannot stand alone and would soon become extinct if it did not fasten itself like a parasite upon the tree of truth. Error draws its life from the truth of God. The traditions of men, like floating germs, attach themselves to the truth of God, and men regard them as part of the truth. Through false doctrines, Satan gains a foothold and captivates the minds of men, causing them to hold theories that have no foundation in truth. Men boldly teach for doctrines the commandments of men, and as traditions pass on from age to age, they acquire a power over the human mind. But age does not make error truth. Neither does its burdensome weight cause the plant of truth to become a parasite. The tree of truth bears its own genuine fruit, showing its true origin in nature. The parasite of error also bears its own fruit and makes manifest that its character is diverse from the plant of heavenly origin. It is through false theories and tradition that Satan gains his power over the human mind. It is through false theories and traditions that Satan gains his power over the human mind. Satan gains his power over the human mind. Beloved, this I saved this for this is just 3 out of like I said 60, then over 100 sometimes she says Freemasons, but this one right here is one of the main reasons why the devil wants you not to read her writings. Check this, what she says. And this is in the book Testimonies for the Church, volume 8, page 27 and 28. She says, now I'm going to read the whole paragraph. What I want you to pay attention to is close to the end, but it's all powerful. Look, she says, the world is a theater. The actors, its inhabitants, are preparing to act their part in the last great drama. With the great masses of mankind, there is no unity, except as men confederate to accomplish their selfish purposes. God is looking on. His purposes in regard to his rebellious subjects will be fulfilled. Meaning prophecy is going to fulfill itself. The world has not been given into the hands of men, though God is permitting the elements of confusion and disorder to bear sway for a season. A power from beneath, here it is, a power from beneath is working to bring about the last great scenes in this drama. Satan coming as Christ and working with all deceivableness of unrighteousness and those who are binding themselves together in secret society. Let me say that again. Satan coming as Christ and working with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in those who are binding themselves together in secret society. Those who are yielding to the passion of confederation are working out the plans of the enemy. The cause will be followed by the effect. She is saying that it is those men who, if you're up on Illuminati, what's going on through our food, homes, our laws, the laws is passed, all of these things, if you're up on it, she's saying it is these men who are paving the way for the Antichrist, for Satan to come as Christ. She said this, I don't even know when she wrote this, but she died in like 1906, or I could be wrong, somewhere around there. So she wrote this over 100 years ago, that it is the secret societies who are paving the way for the Antichrist, for Satan. Now, how are we hearing? Where are we hearing that at? Where else are we hearing that, y'all? Let's be honest. Where else are we hearing this? Even today's time, where it's clear that there is an evil and wicked agenda plotting on God's truth, and we're still not hearing it so poignant and simple and straight to the point. Let me read that again. She says, a power from beneath is working to bring about the last great scenes in this drama. Satan coming as Christ and working with all deceivableness of unrighteousness and those who are binding themselves together in secret societies. He's the one working with them. Those who are yielding to the passion for confederation are working out the plans of the enemy. They are Satan's hands and busybodies preparing the paving his way for him to bring about this last great deception. So of course, she's stating stuff like this. So of course, when you Google Ellen White, you're gonna see Cole. So of course, even though you're gonna see a black dude with his name, SDA Deception, and he's doing nothing but talking bad about Adventists, there is a reason why. He could be a Jesuit. Do you smell a Jesuit? Let's not be so easily fooled and led astray. There is a reason why there's so much hate against this woman. And I'm telling you, beloved, I'm just as critical as they come. If I would have read something garbage that she wrote, talking something crazy, I'd be the first one to tell her, like, look, it's time to leave Ellen alone. You know, like, honestly, like I said, I didn't read her first book till I was 29. I got mad at myself once I did. I'm like, I can't believe I let the devil fool me for so long. Maybe my life wouldn't have been such a shambles. Because She brings such extra light, from diet to even like you see here, warning us against the Illuminati, secret societies, and Jesuits back in the 1800s, when there was no internet to go look in here, and no uh, videos where you could see Jay-Z and them throwing this up, and the triangle. This is before the dollar bill with the all seeing eye. This is before all of that, and she's warning us that the secret societies are going to be the ones to pave the way for the Antichrist. Beloved, it's time we unlearn what we've learned so we can learn. Let me say that again. We have to unlearn what we've learned so we can learn the truth. The truth loves investigation. Check me out. Read it for yourself. Go look, like I said, on my video, Ellen White Predicted 911. You'll see the guy, his name is Han Solo. When I called him out as being a Jesuit, he probably watched this. He didn't deny it, and he stopped commenting. Y'all have a blessed one. Matter of fact, check out his channel page, his recent activity, if he hasn't closed this page yet. All he was doing was going to different Adventist videos who talk about Ellen White, and he was commenting, arguing. You know how they do. He just get on there just to argue and cause doubt for everyone else who was watching. There's a reason why there's an attack on him. There's a reason, and what I just said to you is one of the main reasons. I would have never known who a Jesuit was, Adam Weishaupt, the Spanish Inquisition, the French Revolution, where, what is it called? The Bartholomew. Google this, y'all. Google it. The Bartholomew Massacre, where they went by night and killed every Christian. Over 4 months, 70,000 Christians were killed in France. I would have never known about that. Never known about it if it wasn't for Ellen White writing it in the Great Controversy. Telling you, if you're a Christian and you love to, and you ever have you ever asked yourself, what did the Christians go through? What did the church go through from where the Bible leaves off, where John, the beloved disciple, is on Patmos and he writes Revelation, all the way up to the 1800s? Read the Great Controversy. All detail, all can be traced back to history, all can be Googled right there in the history books. And I would have never known about it if it wasn't for Ellen White writing the Great Controversy. I see clearly why her writings aren't sold in certain cities. A whole city. Of course, in this city, there's more. I've seen more Masonic lodges in this city than I've ever seen in any other city because of the military base. That's why they won't sell no Ellen here. Beloved, it's time we unlearn what we've learned so we can learn the truth. Investigate. The truth loves investigation. Y'all have a blessed one.